Intro: the submarine that changed the war. In the vast darkness of the Atlantic Ocean, wars were not decided by explosions alone. They were decided by silence, by numbers scribbled on paper, by messages sent in code, by secrets never meant to be found. For years, German U-boats ruled the sea lanes, strangling Allied supply routes and sending thousands of ships to the bottom. The ocean had become a killing ground, and the Allies were losing. Then, on June 4th, 1944, something unprecedented happened. An American task force made a decision no Navy had dared to take before. Instead of sinking a German submarine, they chose to capture it. What they found inside would remain hidden for nearly a decade, locked away, classified, and buried under layers of silence. But that single moment changed the balance of the war at sea. This is the story of U-505, the submarine that didn't just fight the war, it exposed it. Chapter 1: The submarine they were never supposed to capture. On June 4th, 1944, in the vast emptiness of the Atlantic Ocean, a decision was made that quietly altered the course of the Second World War. At the surface, it looked like a routine anti-submarine patrol. Beneath the waves, it was something far more dangerous. For years, Allied doctrine had been simple and uncompromising. When you find a German U-boat, you sink it. No exceptions, no hesitation. Every second a submarine remained operational meant more Allied ships lost, more lives drowned in darkness. But one man believed that sinking a U-boat was not enough. Captain Daniel V. Gallery, commander of Task Group 22.3 of the United States Navy, was obsessed with a different idea. He wanted to capture a German submarine intact, not destroy it, not cripple it, take it. Gallery understood something most commanders ignored. A sunken U-boat told no secrets. An intact one could reveal everything: codes, technologies, tactics, and the hidden nervous system of Germany's naval war. His superiors considered the idea reckless. Boarding a submarine was unimaginably dangerous. One wrong move, one delayed scuttling charge, and the entire boarding party would vanish in a violent implosion beneath the sea. Still, Gallery waited. On that morning, sonar contacts confirmed what he had hoped for: a German submarine operating unusually close to the surface. It was U-505, a Type 9C boat already cursed by bad luck and haunted by previous failures. The order was given. Depth charges rolled into the water from the USS Chatelaine, exploding with crushing force. The ocean erupted. Inside U-505, steel screamed, lights flickered, and the hull shook violently. The psychological effect was devastating. Lieutenant Harald Lang, the German commander, was exhausted, physically and mentally. Years of relentless pursuit, failed patrols, and mounting pressure had taken their toll. When the explosions hit, Lang believed the submarine was doomed. He made a fatal decision. Instead of following strict scuttling procedures, he ordered an immediate abandonment of the boat. In the chaos, critical steps were missed. Valves were not fully opened, demolition charges were not armed, and most disastrously of all, the classified materials were left behind. As U-505 drifted helplessly on the surface, American sailors stared in disbelief. The impossible had happened. A German submarine was floating, alive, but empty. Gallery did not hesitate. He ordered a boarding party into the submarine as it slowly began to sink. Lieutenant Albert David led the men inside, descending into darkness, water rising around their boots, knowing that at any moment the boat could explode or slip beneath the waves forever. What they found inside would change the war in silence. This was no ordinary prize. It was a doorway into the enemy's mind, and the Allies had just stepped through it. Chapter 2: Inside the Enemy's Mind, the Codes That Changed the War. As the boarding team descended into the flooded corridors of U-505, they were racing against time. The submarine was still taking on water. Electrical systems were failing. At any moment, a delayed scuttling charge could detonate, or the boat could slip beneath the Atlantic forever, taking its secrets with it. But those secrets were exactly what Captain Gallery had gambled everything for. Lieutenant Albert David and his men moved with ruthless efficiency. They ignored torpedoes. They ignored machinery. Their mission was singular: find the intelligence. Deep inside the control room, they discovered something extraordinary. 2 Enigma cipher machines, intact, not smashed, not flooded, not destroyed. Alongside them were more than 900 pounds of code books, signal logs, and cipher tables, including material related to the German Navy's most secure encryption system, the Shark Code. This was the Kriegsmarine's crown jewel. Until this moment, German naval communications had been nearly impenetrable. The introduction of the 4-rotor Enigma had plunged Allied codebreakers back into darkness, costing thousands of lives as U-boats once again hunted convoys with deadly precision. Now, suddenly, the darkness lifted. The materials recovered from U-505 allowed Allied cryptanalysts working at places like Bletchley Park to read German naval messages almost in real time. Convoy routes could be adjusted. Ambushes could be avoided. U-boat Wolfgacks could be intercepted before they ever struck. Entire battles were won without a single shot fired because the enemy never knew the Allies were listening. But this intelligence came with a terrifying risk. If Germany discovered that U-505 had been captured intact, the Kriegsmarine would immediately change its codes. Years of cryptographic advantage would vanish overnight. So the truth had to disappear. The German crew was quietly isolated in a secret POW camp. No Red Cross notifications, no public records. They were listed as missing at sea. Even their families believed they were dead. The submarine itself was towed across the Atlantic under extreme secrecy. Crew members were sworn to silence, logs were falsified. Official reports stated that U-505 had been sunk during the engagement. Even within the Allied command structure, very few knew the full truth. Admiral Ernest King, the powerful and notoriously rigid chief of naval operations, was furious. Gallery had violated standing orders. He had risked compromising Ultra, the Allies' most closely guarded secret. At one point, King seriously considered court-martialing Gallery. In the end, cold logic prevailed. The intelligence value was simply too great. For the remainder of the war, German naval commanders never suspected that their messages were being read. They continued transmitting plans, movements, and intentions, unaware that the enemy was always one step ahead. The capture of U-505 did not win headlines. It did not appear in newspapers, but in silence, it saved tens of thousands of lives. And it proved that in modern war, information could be deadlier than any torpedo.